Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guilded Guardians video. Today we're going to talk about the arena tokens and a strategy that I've been implementing to try to get more of those tokens per cycle. So to begin, let's jump into the shop and talk a little bit about what we're doing with our arena tokens. So in the JD event, they one time did a guaranteed giveaway at 60 calling crystals. So when they launch new characters, theoretically that might be something they do in the future as well. So I have been basically putting all of my effort and energy into collecting these calling crystals. They're 500 tokens a piece, which is a little expensive, and you do need to forego buying the upgrade stones for gear and gold, which are both extremely valuable assets. But in the event that a really strong character comes to the game and they do a guaranteed pull at 60, it'd be awesome to have 60 calling crystals on your account just in case. So that's my goal. I'm going to try to get to 60 calling crystals, and that's going to be my 0, and then hopefully try to move forward from there so that each time a new character comes to the game, if they do a guaranteed pull, I can go ahead and pull for them on the free-to-play account. Which would be a huge win. So that is the purpose of trying to get these tokens, at least for me right now. So what I've been trying to do is figure out a way to maximize the amount of tokens I can get per cycle, because Arena is running in the off cycle from Rush. So it kind of goes Rush, Arena, Rush, Arena. So right now we have 3 days, 22 hours. At the time of filming this video, it'll go up in probably 12 hours or so there'll be less by the time it lands. So there are two parts to this strategy. The first part is finding 5 packs on a daily basis you can defeat all 5 Guardians. And the second part of the strategy is at the end of the cycle, the 3 days and 22 hours, we have an action that we need to take. So stay tuned, I'll talk a little more about that. The strategy that I'm doing is on defense. I'm putting a single person on defense. And the purpose for this is I want people to fight me and I want people to defeat me. The reason that I want that is, as you see here, these are the levels of the players that I am up against right now. So every time I get defeated, my overall PvP score goes down. And so then what's going to happen is it's going to select people that are more comparable to my current PvP score. So if I refresh this right now, you can see this one's still pretty high. The rest of these are very low. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can beat this one, because if I can beat this one, I can beat the rest of them. And what I'm trying to do here is find a 5-pack I can beat all 5 battles, because by doing that, I'm going to get an extra 100 tokens. So we're going to give this guy a shot, see if I can get through him, because the other 4 will be easy if I can. So we'll see how close we are. I think if we refresh again, we could probably get that a little bit lower. We are a little low on combat power here, but I do have my Drizzt dialed in pretty well, so she does a lot of work in Arena and oftentimes can beat teams that are more powerful than me. But it's not looking good so far. So it looks like they've got our number on this one. I mean, they do out combat power us by about 2 million, which is a pretty steep upgrade. So we're going to go back to the Haven here, and we are going to refresh again. So by losing that battle, my score has dropped, and I should be able to get, here we go. So we're at 3.75. So if I can beat this one, the rest of them should be easy. And we're going to go through and defeat these 5 and get those 100 tokens. So ideally, you can do this twice a day, because you get 10 tickets per day. But you do need, because by winning 5 in a row, your overall PvP score is going to increase dramatically. So then when you go through your refreshes, you're going to be fighting teams that are significantly better because you have a higher PvP score. So ideally, at the beginning of the reset, you go in and you run your 5 battles and find a 5-pack that you can win and defeat them. And then go ahead and sit tight for a few hours, let the PvP kind of defeat you and bring your numbers down, and then come back, refresh, and you should be back low enough to find another 5-pack. So theoretically, twice a day, you should be able to beat 5 people, 2 groups of 5. So that will get you 200 arena tokens per day. So that's actually pretty good. You also, depending on your current ranking in PvP, you also do get you do get daily arena tokens as well. So if you're really trying to maximize what you're doing here, what you want to do is just before the reset, come in, knock out your 5, and that'll give you a fairly high score. So when you cycle over for the reset or the refresh every day, you're going to be at a higher score and get more daily PvP tokens than you would if you waited a while and you had a lot of defeats on your account prior to the refresh. So that'll maximize the dailies that you're getting there as well. So if you come in, log in kind of right before the reset, for me that's 9 p.m. So if I came in at like 8:30, 8:45, knocked out my 5 battles, it would work out great. And then by the time the reset happens, I still would have a fairly high level and maximize my dailies that I get in my inbox. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this one out as well. You can see I'm just rolling through these. As long as you can defeat the hardest one, the other 4 should be good. So you're really only paying attention to that first or second one, because the rest of them will kind of fall into place if you get it. So that's it. So that's all 5 of these. So at this point, I did lose one of my tickets trying that level and I couldn't beat it. But I got my 100 arena tokens right here. And then if I wait until 9 o'clock or just shy of 9 o'clock tonight, I'll be able to refresh and find another pack of 5 I can defeat. If I use my refreshes right now, because my PvP score is now, 500 higher than it was, everybody I see is going to be significantly more powerful than I am right now. So I need people to defeat me, and that's why I have that one person in defense. That'll bring my score down every single time, and then it'll allow me to refresh with a lower PvP score and get 5 teams I can beat. Now, if I can only use 4 tickets today, I can beat 4 people, leave the 5th one, so as soon as the tickets refresh, I can do it again, and it'll pick up right where I left off, assuming the cycle doesn't end. And that's the other part of this strategy. So we talked about at the end of the cycle, we have something more to do. So if you take a look at when the cycle ends, we have 3 days. So on the last day, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, except I am going to go into my defensive party and I'm going to outfit it with the best team that I have. And the reason for this is I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose more battles than I need to. So at the end of the overall ranking rewards, depending on where our ranking is, we're going to end up getting different levels of tokens. So when that takes place, you want to be as high as possible at the end of this 3 days. Now, you just saw I just pushed 500 points into my score by fighting 5 times. So the first thing is set your defense so less and less people are going to defeat you. The second part of this is find that refresh to kill 5 enemies. You probably won't be able to do 2 in that second day because you won't lose enough of your PvP score to fall down far enough to find 5 that you can beat. But on that last day, you're really just hoping to do 1. Once you defeat that, what's going to happen if you go up into this revenge button, there are going to be people that have defeated you in this revenge button that are significantly lower power than you because they defeated your defense with 1 character in there. And every time you beat these folks that have beaten you, you get a score that goes into that. So if you scroll through here and let's just take a peek, let's just assume everybody under 4 million I could beat. So I'd be able to beat 1, 2, maybe 3, but 3 for sure here, 4, we'll call that 5, 6, 7, 8, no, maybe not 8, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 people in my revenge score. That's going to be 1,400 points that I can accumulate with tickets on that last day. So that'd be a good day to stack up tickets when you get these items in the inventory where you can utilize different, I think I have, like these tickets here, and utilize those on your last day. Potentially you might even want to buy tickets that day. I know you can buy them for rubies or whatever the case is once you go past your 10. But what's going to happen there is a couple things. The first thing is you want to look at the scores that you get because a lot of them will actually show 180. Some will show 140. So you want to defeat all the people that beat you for 180 that you can beat easily first. Those are going to be the ones that get you the most points. And then from there, you're going to shoot up. So if I shot up 1,400 points from where I am right now, and we go back into rewards, I'm going to get upwards, probably get this reward right here. I'd definitely get these 500, but I'd probably also get these 800, assuming I could beat just a couple of them that are giving me 180 instead of 140. So in that space, I'm going to get these 1,300 coins that probably wouldn't be able to get otherwise. I could probably get these with the right refreshes and just defeating the teams that I can beat. But once my score gets up to, like, say 3,000, every time I refresh it, I'm not going to be able to beat any of the teams because they're all going to be more powerful than me. So there's no chance I would ever get these 800 coins. But if I stack them all for the very last day, I utilize all of my tickets, run through 5 here where I'm getting 95 points, 110, 120, 130, 140. That's going to be all accumulating onto my score. So I just lost again and dropped 50 points again. But all those will accumulate onto my score. Then I go through with all my extra tickets and I run these revenge battles that I know I can beat. I'm going to be able to push my score up by probably 1,500 to 2,000 points in a day. And that's going to get me into those rewards that I wouldn't have got otherwise. So I'm going to end up getting, say, 1,300 here, plus the 200 per day. And then plus at the end of the day, you get all the cycled resets. That's going to give you a lot of extra tokens that you wouldn't be getting otherwise to get you those calling crystals. It would also be kind of important to take a peek at the PvP score, that when you do refresh, that you get what you're looking for. You get 10 refreshes per day, so clicking on these, that doesn't do a whole lot. But ideally, I wouldn't waste my refreshes until my score gets down low enough where I actually think I could beat all 5 teams. So when I get back to around 1,500, I'd come back, use these last 4 refreshes, and try to find that second team. So in the last cycle, I did this on my main account, but I did not do it on my free-to-play, so I was kind of testing it out. But moving forward on this cycle, I've been trying to implement it on my free-to-play. On the calling crystals, I've been working on stacking some up, and I have, what do I have here? I've got 6 of them so far on the free-to-play account. So hopefully with this strategy, I can get another maybe 5 to 10 in the next cycle and start adding up and getting closer and closer to that 60 that I need for that hopeful guaranteed pull. It potentially all could be for naught if we get to a point where they're not doing the guaranteed giveaway with the pull. And that would be pretty unfortunate. But one thing to consider too is if you stack up all these arena tokens, coming back to the store here, you can only buy 5 of these calling crystals, and I think it's on a 6-day reset. So if you stacked up a bunch of things and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to buy these as they become available, or I'll just go and buy them all if they do the event, you're only going to be able to do 5 every 6 days. So that'll probably be maybe 10 that you can buy during the length of the event that they're running. So that would be pretty unfortunate. We did get another 500, so we're going to buy another one. So as the time is going on, you want to be stacking these up if this is a strategy that you want to implement, because you don't want to be caught later on going, oh, I have enough arena tokens to buy 60, but I can only buy 5 at a time. That'd be pretty unfortunate. The other thing, when it comes to the new champions in the game, you never know what's coming in and whether or not they're going to be a champion you want or is going to benefit your team. So JD, for example, I think she's an awesome healer. If you haven't checked out my video on her versus Flix versus Aquirus, I definitely recommend checking it out. JD definitely has an edge over the other two. That being said, I do believe Flix can kind of do about 80% of her job. And so you're only going to see that 20% gain moving to JD. Whereas there might be another champion that comes in that does substantial AoE damage, which is one of the things I think is lacking in the game right now, at least for Core 1 champions. But if a Gen 1 champion were to come into the game that did that kind of AoE damage, I think it would help a lot of accounts press along and get progress in adventure mode and other places in the game. So if that champion does come to the game, it'd be nice to have those 60 calling crystals to hopefully guarantee your shot at getting one of those champions. But that's why I put a lot of energy into the arena strategy, trying to maximize the tokens you get, because you run a few days with arena and then a few days with rush and back and forth. So it's not running all the time. So it's a resource that's a little more limited. But if we can start stacking those up, we'll be able to get those 5 calling crystals as they're available in the arena store, and hopefully help us all get a little further along. But hopefully you found this strategy helpful. Maybe it helps you increase your overall points and get a few more of those arena tokens. I really appreciate you spending the time with me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.